Hello, my name is Karina Bona and I'm a professional puppet and prop maker, and today I'm going to show you how to make a werewolf mask. To make our wolf mask you need a paper plate, some paper, scissors, a stapler, masking tape, some marker pens, some string, and if you've got some paint at home, paint to finish it off. Take your paper plate and draw yourself some nice, big, mean eye holes for your wolf. And the next step is to cut these out, and I do that by piercing the plate with my scissors. Once I've made a bit of a hole, I just go around and cut these out neatly along the line I've drawn. So now for my next step, I'm going to take my thick paper and I'm going to fold it in half to make my muzzle. So I'm going to take the fold and pop it into the middle, and then I'm going to cut along in a semicircle like that. And then I'm going to open it out, and using a bit of Pritt stick, I'm going to turn this into a 3D shape. Take both edges and connect them up like this, and then you're going to bend this forward to create a nose shape. So let's get a bit of Pritt on that so that it can all stick together. Once I'm happy and that I feel that my muzzle is well stuck down, I'm going to put a bit more Pritt on there and create my nose with the flap that I've left sticking out. So just pop a bit of PVA down on that. And position it like so. That gives you a nice big curl to give your wolf an angry, snarly snout. Now be liberal with your Pritt stick. It's always good for these things to be really well stuck down. Great. Now I've got my muzzle shape, I'm just going to cut some flaps along the back. This is so that I can connect it to my paper plate. Once I've put a fair few flaps in there, I'm just going to bend them forward like this and use some masking tape to attach this to my paper plate. Don't worry about your masking tape and its position if it shows, because once we get our fur onto our wolf's face, our paper fur, you won't see the masking tape at all. Make sure you use plenty of it just so that it's really nice and secure and it won't slip off. And don't worry about any bits that may overlap into the eyes. We can cut all of that away with our scissors toward the end. Okay, now I would like to give my wolf some very sharp teeth. So now that that's positioned, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut away some triangles. That gives my wolf his scary, snarling mouth. There we go. And I'm going to cut away this area of my plate just so that my mouth can fit comfortably into this mask without feeling like it's right up against a plate. Turn the mask over to cut this, makes it a lot easier, and you can just trim this away until it's nice and neat. To make our wolf's ears, take another piece of paper, fold it in half, and cut yourself a big pointy shape like this. Now, because wolves are pretty wild, I like to cut some big jaggedy edges into their ears. They get into lots of fights with their fellow wolf kind, and that often means their ears look very tatty. There we go. So that's our wolf ear, and then I'm gonna put a slit just up the middle. And as you can see, I've got 2 ears out of that. Now, to give the ears a bit of a curve, I'm just gonna cut that slit in there and fold them over and glue that down. So again, using my Prit, I just connect that ear together, and I do the same with the other ear. And there you go. So now, to stick my ears onto my plate, I'm going to use a little bit of Prit on the back of them and also some masking tape just to make sure that they're extra secure. So that's starting to give our wolf a good shape. And now we're going to move on to doing the wolf's fur. Take another piece of paper, again, fold it in half. This time I want you to cut along the fold just to separate the 2 bits of paper. And then we're going to cut in a zigzag across them. Don't worry about this being neat. This is going to give us our wolf's fur that we attach to the sides of his face. So, with what we've cut out, all that needs to be done is take some Prit stick and again apply to the back of this fur jowl and stick it onto your wolf. Repeat this step for the other side. If you need to add a little bit of masking tape just to make sure that that stays in place, do that along the inside. So with these extra bits that I've got left over from my cutout, I'm just going to carry on adding some fur to his face. Now I've popped some Prit stick on the backs of these and they should be sticking nicely. And any other excess bits that you've got you can turn into things. So I think my wolf needs some very scary eyebrows. So I'm going to put these 2 bits together and cut along them in an arched shape just to get that lower bit of eyebrow, and then snip into them. Give them that bushy effect. Great, and if I separate that, I've got 2 eyebrows, and I'm just gonna stick those down over Wolfie's eyes just to bring him together. So, using a bit of Prit stick, I'm going to pop those on the top of his eyes. That's it. Now I'm not sticking them down fully, I'm just sticking them down along the base of the eyebrow so that all these bits can stick out and give it a little bit more texture. Now any scraps or spare bits of paper I can just chop into and turn into more fur. And that can help me disguise any bits of tape that I don't want visible. So I'm just going to pop that down there. So once I feel like all of my paper fur has been built up and is well stuck down, Wolfie is ready to paint. Now to paint your wolf at home, you can use anything from poster paints to acrylic. I had a bit of black spray paint knocking around, so I just sprayed him down. And what I did afterwards was take a little bit of red acrylic and just work into the jaw and the nose and the insides of the ears. And I took a pen at the very end and just went into these teeth to give a bit more definition. And that really helps to separate all the elements and draw a little bit more attention to them. So yeah, take your time at home and get Wolfie so that he's doing exactly what you want him to. Pop a couple of whiskers on there if you feel he needs them. And if you'd like to see these eyes defined a bit more clearly, just take your black, give it a bit of an edge. So to secure Wolfie to your face, just take a bit of string, pop it near to the eye holes, and then with a stapler, all you've got to do is pop a few staples into that to secure it into place. Now you repeat this step exactly the same way on the other side. If you don't want these staples near your face, all you've got to do is put a little bit of masking tape over those to make them more secure. And once that's done, you take your mask, fit it to your face, pop a knot into your string wherever you need it so that the mask fits you snugly. And then Wolfie is ready to wear. Oh, oh, oh! And that is how you make a werewolf mask.